Alrighty. We got Peter Wheeler in the house, and look at this. And I've got double speakers happening somehow. I don't know. Oh wait. Hang on. Dang it. Oh, I lost that tab. Oh, done. Fixed. All right. Welcome to your
everybody log out of your LinkedIn account or whatever you're viewing the streaming on and log back in so Trevor can get his mulligan.
Yeah, I need my mulligan. All right. Look, we're live, buddy. We are live right now. All right. So I have none other than Peter Wheeler from Attack IQ, which he has posted on his own profile.
I'm still putting together the video. Like this is I usually do this on Fridays. I know that I got executive team members here watching this because I have random people coming into my profile going, he didn't update his job title. He didn't update this. I like to do it at the end of the second week so I at least know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it makes total sense. It makes complete sense. And, these announcement posts are, they're a big deal on LinkedIn, right? I mean, it's a thing, right? And I think it's, it's important when Attack IQ got you, right? Hey, they.
Oh, I love that phrasing. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you're a win. Like they need to celebrate that we got this guy. He's on our team. He's got PLG in his title. He knows something about that. And I'm guessing, correct me if I'm wrong, that in this particular case, it doesn't stand for Peter-led growth. It stands for product-led growth. Is that accurate? Or
that is it? Oh, we actually are live. We're doing the show, and I'm over here being.
Yeah, you're over here.
Yeah, no, it does.
I'm trying to be a host here. Yeah.
This is what happens when you bring the heckler on stage.
I know.
But thanks for giving me the heads up about what color T-shirt to wear to do the show.
I train my guests really well. Right. I'm all about that.
So yeah, I've come in as the senior director of product-led growth and growth marketing, which is it's just demand gen with more experimentation and fun, but it's not growth hacking. For Attack IQ across 3 really cool products. The PLG product that I'm focusing on is an ad hoc self-service testing platform where you go in and you build attack scenarios, you download them, you run them in your environment, and you upload them to us to be analyzed. We give you a score, give you some recommendations on what to do, and it's cheap, it's fast, it's DIY. And then it moves all the way into.
Okay, I'm making sense out of it right now. Attack IQ, so it's like the IQ is like the intelligence part about like the attack that might happen. So something like that.
I'm embarrassed you beat me to that because now it makes sense to me too.
Okay, awesome. We're on the same page. All right.
I've been on the search for cool products for some time.
Yeah, I know you're. That's how we met. I mean, really, that's how we hit it off 2 years ago, right? For some reason, we started talking about cool AppSumo knockoffs. Phantom Buster was not that. We started talking about other stuff. I couldn't pay for Phantom Buster. I just my heart broke over the pricing of that. And then, but other just other rando tools and stuff, we kind of bonded over that. I remember that distinctly. So it makes complete sense that if you found something cool you want to be a part of, you want to represent, you want to take to market. Terrific.
Yeah, I'm back in cybersecurity.
So and in cybersecurity, right? So now you're missional, right? We have a mission to protect the world from evildoers, right?
Yeah, or at least your stuff.
Yeah, at least your stuff.
Yeah,
okay,
at least your stuff.
At least your stuff. All right. So that was the first thing. Well, there were 2 more. Yes, you had 3.
So then we have Ready and we have an enterprise platform, and it's just it's one of the they rolled out a red carpet for me as far as how this is all built. With this, they are watching. I'm gonna get a pay cut before I hit my first month. But really, solid PLG motion right off the bat. They launched in August. I started this month.
Okay.
Credit system. It's not. There's somewhat of a freemium because there are free packages you can go do. Antivirus is one of our most popular ones. But then everything else is with credits. So it breaks away from the subscription model, which is really fun. to play with, at least for me,
Yeah.
and get into like the gamification and all the FOMO and the flywheel kind of stuff with it. Um, and then it moves into something that's a little bit more of a managed service
Hmm.
scenario
Hmm.
where there's more automations, there's less human intervention. The self-service one really is, and that's why the credits are there. You run it when you need it. And then it moves
Got it.
into honestly, you need it all the time, but it's a starting point. It's like going to the gym. You're not going to go every day when you sign up. You're going to go once a month if you go at all, but you'll work your way up to going once or twice a day.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hope,
Hopefully,
hopefully. I mean,
yeah.
God, I could have bought a car with the gym membership that I can't figure out how to cancel. Anyway,
Okay. 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 Can I
all
can
right.
I
So
share?
it moves into this managed service. The somewhat it's more automated, and then the enterprise one is where you can get real groovy and start designing and building and working with us to attack yourself and figure out your vulnerabilities. And it's cheaper than a first marriage for the same kind of treatment, right? So I don't know. Trying to be
I'm so
spicy,
man,
bud.
that's funny. All right. All right. Listen,
All right.
man, we got down into the weeds of business really, really fast here. We just hit that hard. And the point of this show, my friend, is to build some anticipation around what's coming. A, that we get to meet each other for the first time in person, right? That's happening. B, to explain the fact that I have a non-virtual background today, that I have been blessed with with the green screen. I see that. All right. So anybody who's out here who sees the fact that I have a green background, that's actually real. That's an actual real thing, because the virtual background is not working today. I don't know why. Just isn't. So that's that's challenged me. But I want to. So we've got your new job. All right. So we're public with that. That's awesome. You're getting your head around what you do. You're gonna be at RSA. You're getting there on what day you get you're not coming to the RSA party, but you're gonna
I'm
get
not coming to the cybersecurity party.
okay.
I'm
Rats.
sorry.
You're getting there Monday. All
Hmm.
right. You got a place to stay. You're all good there.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I'm in a good spot. It was
Nice.
great. It was
Nice.
great.
Okay.
Before I started, I got that email. I'm still filling out paperwork to make sure that my criminal records disclosed properly,
Yeah.
or lack thereof. And I get the email like, yeah, we do expect you at RSA. Book your travel. We've got the
Okay.
hotel. So that was great. It was a nice
Okay.
surprise.
So now are you booth babing it, or are you, I mean, what's your job there?
You know what, that honestly is it. It's exploration and doing a little, yeah, boat show action.
Okay.
But and that's the strangest part for me. Meeting you, not strange.
Yeah.
Going to RSA for the first time, not strange. No anxiety there.
Hmm.
But you gotta remember, I was a field marketer for nearly 2 decades. So I'm used
Wow.
to flying 2 days in advance, sleeping on the trade show floor, sneaking in equipment past the union guys because we didn't want to pay the fees. Like subterfuge and disrupts at their finest. And
Yeah.
now I'm showing up and I'm wandering into the expo hall at after it opens as opposed to 2 hours before it does. So this is wild. This is exciting and scary.
That is exciting and scary. I mean, who doesn't try to subterfuge the union setup guys, right? Like who
Right.
I challenge any any field marketer or any booth setup person to that to that. Oh, got a bomber. Got a bomber. Nice. I love it. I love it.
Good old Penelope Jane.
Hello,
She had a
Penelope. Welcome to the
short
show.
day today.
Yeah,
It's like
that,
the wind got you.
Wind got you. Look at your hair and your dad's hair. That came from the same DNA. I love it. It's all
Yeah.
good. See, look at you. Perfect. All right. So you're flying in from somewhere that does barbecue really well. I don't know. Can you get barbecue in San Francisco? I don't know if that's possible. Do they even do it there?
I don't know. I don't know.
I
The
kind
only thing I really remember about San Francisco food is those garlic parmesan fries when you get up into like northern greater Marin County.
okay. All
Maybe
right.
we'll take a
How long has it been since you've been back there?
Oh, since I've been back there for work trips? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've dropped my
In
butt
general.
in a Moscone in a hotel downtown, but not done San Francisco life in
Mm.
since 2010.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's
All
when I
right.
left.
Okay. All right. So it's been a minute. It's been a
Yeah.
minute. All right. All right. So what do we so I'm gonna find you Monday.
Mhm.
When you stop in?
Well, all right, so the team's gonna be at the show hall and at the W hosting meetings. So if you're
Mm,
interested in the kind of thing we do, stop by the show floor and then we can double click and do a meeting. We've
okay.
got a kickoff party with Trellix and AWS,
Okay.
and I don't think I'll land in time for that, but I'll try and get there.
Okay.
And
That's
then Flex, we're doing they had plotted out a hero theme for it. One of the interesting parts about this Flex product is it's not designed. Well, let me take this back. It's designed so simply. Like I already told you, you pick your attack, you download it, you run it, you upload it, you're done. It's to support organizations and individuals that aren't professional CISOs, that aren't professional cybersecurity engineers. We're talking network administrators, IT admins, developers, whomever has just enough knowledge and just enough access to run one of these can do it.
mm-hmm.
So, we're trying to campaign with this hero concept,
Mm,
and
mhm.
nitty gritty jobs to be done. And, we can go into the marketing stuff all you want. Um, but we have one of our people dressed up as a superhero. And I have not seen any of the materials for it. So this could be a giant mascot costume.
Okay.
And because I haven't seen the materials, I have a very sinking fear that they bought it in my size.
Oh no. All right. Well, you and I are about the same size. I think I'm 5'8", and I think you're about that ish, give or take. Am I more or less? Are
No,
you?
I'm 6'1", 2.5 bills. You're gonna be like,
You're
who is
about
this
bigger
guy?
than me. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm short stacked compared to you. Okay. Well, then I'll, it won't be. I was gonna say if you needed somebody to put the suit on, if there was a mask or whatever, you might, we could try that. But
Well, we could do something like that. You're not a man. You're three sheep in a trench coat kind of
because
thing.
I'm just walking around looking for friends, looking for people to help and to to hang out with and to generally just sort of share the love, as it were, right? So that's really my agenda. And if you need somebody to help out with a super suit, give me a call. I don't know if it'll fit because they didn't call me to see if the size is right, but hey, it's working. So I don't know where I got the idea that you and I are about the same size. But listen, I don't. Did you notice the cover image that I used for our show today?
Yes.
And did you? And I'm sure you knew where I got that.
Yeah, probably from Gianna. You two were the ones. I'm over here thinking it's going to be sec moves or some because they did it the last time I did a role change. They beat me to the punch. It was you and
Okay.
Gianna Whitver of the Cybersecurity Marketing Society.
Well, okay. No, I went out. No, I actually went out to the video that you made last year
Okay.
um, of yourself, right? Speaking about that cutout that you made, right? Okay. So anybody who doesn't know, anybody who's listening, so who doesn't know Peter, right? So last year, Cybersecurity Marketing Con is being held. Where was it? Austin, right?
Austin. Yeah.
Yeah. Neither you nor I could go for whatever reason. And I know my wife was ill, so I was taking care of her, so I couldn't go, and you couldn't go, but you were there, and it was
Yeah.
this move. Okay, this thing you did was I loved it, everything about it, right? So you were looking for a job at that time,
Yeah.
and
I left Okta
you left Okta
without planning that next step.
without planning the next step. So you're looking for a job. All right, okay, that happens, and you decide I'm gonna print out a full size. I'm gonna print out a full size cutout of myself, and I'm gonna put it at Cybersecurity Marketing Con, telling people how awesome it would be to work with me.
Yeah.
Who does this? Nobody I've ever seen in my life do this. How did you come up with that idea? And like, how did it go? Like, what was the feedback you got from it?
Well, I mean, this comes from the decades of experiential and disrupt marketing. I try. I've got my little internal binder of ideas that you can execute as a startup or a solopreneur
Yeah.
for cheap that have some level of impact. And it wasn't, it wasn't just a cardboard cutout. It had the speech bubble and a QR code and Other
Yeah.
and that, the QR code would take you to, I had partnered with Amanda Nielsen of Thought
Mhm.
Leader Labs, and you could
Okay.
set a meeting with me and or just sign up for a raffle ticket to win some of her gear from that. So there was a little bit of a spiff involved, and then choose your own adventure style videos. I was using a
Yeah.
platform called Tolstoy, which
Okay.
I still love. I'm not using it as much as I used to,
Mhm.
but it was great. Yeah. So I mean, the idea just came from having to do it before. It's the old guerrilla marketing stuff
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
that I
yeah,
used
yeah.
to do.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
then what did people say? How did they react? Did you get job leads or did people call
My
you and
Well, no,
you're
my
crazy?
biggest plea was just to send me selfies.
Okay. And
And Mike Crass of MKG Marketing
yes.
was the first one to kick it over to me. Now, I didn't provide instructions with this cutout,
Okay.
but sending it to a marketing conference and letting somebody like Gianna get her hands on it,
Yeah.
she put it at the registration table.
Okay.
So I got to meet everybody when they
Yeah.
came through the door. I don't remember anybody's name. I can't even remember what their face looks like, but I was there face to face with them of sorts.
Uh, this
And
is so good though. Like now you're super like you made yourself super famous with this entire cybersecurity marketing, club as it were.
right.
29 almost 3,000 strong by the way. Holy crap, that is a force. And there you were. And I gotta say, man, like when I saw that, I'm like, dude, this guy, he's the best, right? Like who, like just flat out, I'm gonna go and do this thing that is really cool. And we see some of that, a little kind of sort of stuff, here and there. I mean, I know that there's a few other creative folks out here, but still, man, it was really fun, and wanted to make sure that you had a proper hat tip on that one because
I
I do
appreciate that.
I loved it. And when you've been around a little bit too, you get some you see stuff, right? So I mean, I'm always talking about like my experience selling big pharma, right, back in the late 90s, right? And like that was a thing, and we did a lot of stuff that I have to chuckle about because sometimes here in the B2B tech world, they're like, "Hey, I got this new idea. Let's pay somebody. Let's pay like a subject matter expert to come out locally and host a roundtable full of our customers, and we'll buy them dinner, and we'll bring our they can bring a plus one, and then we'll have some reps there, and then we'll make a presentation, and it'll be great, and it won't be about our product necessarily, but it'll be about kind of like the problem that our product solves. Great idea,
Right.
right? And I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea that's been going on for like 1,000 years, and every other major industry on earth has done it, and because it works. I'm glad you thought of it. I'm glad you showed up to the table because that's a good idea. That's great, and let's do more, right? And it's a big part of why I was just so insanely crazy to get out to this, you know, um, the Cybersecurity Marketing Society party right before. I mean, I'm very disappointed that you can't come because we're going to be eating Wagyu beef, and that's going to be awesome. So you're missing that, but I just can't win them all. But still, like, how do we even get close to some of these things, right? In working in these work from home environments, where it's all digital all the time, we can get sort of close, but you just don't get like a group dynamic, right?
Yeah.
That's what we miss, and so the degree to which we can, you know, get together in person, and it sounds like you guys are really up to that. So you've got your own party going Monday. How's the attendance look? You guys getting some decent signups for it?
Yeah, everybody take that up with Jenny Opal, who's
Okay.
been helming the ship at Attack IQ and runs field. She's got it all handled. It's strange. It's really neat being in a startup with just, competent, experienced, legit marketers.
Yeah.
I'm really there's so much I'm liking about this. But
Congratulations.
I'm waiting for the bucket of water to dump on me and me to spring up in wet sheets and go, "Oh, okay." Or,
Yeah. There.
yeah, just I'm
There's.
gonna pull a Bob Newhart. There we go. Really date
Well,
myself. There's also the alternate ending to Malcolm in the Middle, which I wish they would have ran.
Okay. All right. I love these cryptic sort of code,
No, do you remember
references.
at the end of the Bob Newhart show? He woke up from a dream. The whole series was a dream.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
and then at the end of
I missed that.
Breaking Bad, it was actually an alt ending for Breaking Bad, where he woke up from a dream and he was playing Hal from Malcolm in the Middle, and they had the whole cast. And
Okay.
it's a good YouTube if you actually. It's probably better to find it on TikTok. Let's save
Okay.
TikTok.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But there was there's a I do want to talk about that, but I also want to contribute to this because there's an alt ending for Friends too, where it's Phoebe is looking in the window and it's like the whole thing's her entire fantasy, right? Where she's looking in the window of Central Perk and it's like she just makes up the entire thing is her. It's like a dream sequence. Anyway, that was an alt ending,
No,
but
there's a fun double click there with like what was her sister Ursula who worked
yeah,
there and interacted with them that way. Like it's a bifurcation.
yeah, all kinds of crazy there. All
Oh, be
right.
careful about that word. Mental illness is a rough thing.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I need
Yeah.
to be careful about that. Sorry, that's a non-PC. That was all kinds of let's call it creative alternative reality. But Friends was fun, and I enjoy takes, sort of alternate takes like that. All right, so let's talk for a minute. Yes.
Let's go. All right. I'm ready. I'm bracing myself.
I want to talk for a minute about, or two or five about this about the state of LinkedIn. Let's talk about that for a minute. So what do you think? What I mean, you've got a position. We had Estelle for a little bit. Kind of put Estelle in the background for a minute. Where are you right now with kind of LinkedIn and if we'd be so bold, let's talk about Social Saturday and how that whole thing went down and kind of your evolution of your experience with the platform. And we're broadcasting on it right now. LinkedIn's telling me we got 16 people that are live with us. So what's your take on it today?
Marketers ruin everything. No, I mean, yeah. Actually, let me back into that.
Okay.
So if you think of platforms, for me, there are platforms that come to mind. Clout, Klout, is
Mm-hmm.
one. They launched in 2009, 2010, and it was actually a social index score. So all that stuff that they threaten in China, and they have the Black Mirror where people are committing suicide because they have these numbers that slide. That was actually a product called Clout that
Okay.
existed for quite some time,
Mm-hmm.
and it reached a point of critical mass of people that it became ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
Quirky is another one that I was in, QWUIRKY, which was
Mm-hmm.
a crowdsourcing building of products. It's one of those things where like I actually have patents where I have little attributions to myself in there, and I got maybe $14 worth of checks over a few years for my contribution to the project. But that was another one that got too saturated with it was overpopulated.
Okay.
And that's a weird thing to think about when you think about social platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook did that. One of my favorite social platforms from way back, and we're not talking Friendster, MySpace, anything like that, was called Turntable, turntable.fm. The
Okay.
domain's still around, the product's kind of similar, but this was like a fully remote environment where you would go and set up as a DJ and you would play your, whatever local music you had going as
Mm-hmm.
a DJ for a crowd that would show up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot like Zuckerberg's metaverse kind of thing, or the Wii
Yeah.
rooms with these characters that you'd have in there. And that was another one where when it got too crowded, it wasn't cool anymore. It wasn't
Mm.
fun. It wasn't good to be in. And a
Okay.
lot of the people in real life, when I was doing nightclubs, I was a nightclub promoter for half a decade. Same thing. It wasn't fun to go there anymore if it was too crowded. Like you had to really tune things,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it was with the wrong crowd. So then you look at Facebook. I mean, let's be. I'm a Zennial, and I would say anybody my age or younger only has a Facebook account so that grandparents can get photos of grandkids. That's it.
Fair.
Everything else that we do on there is toxic. Oh my goodness, try and sell something on Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
You get a whole bunch of scams coming your way. I mean, all right, so let's get into LinkedIn. It's getting overcrowded with AI.
Mm-hmm.
everybody's getting lazy. This is where we're getting into marketers ruining things. The ads are irrelevant. Like, this aligns to Facebook, this aligns to Instagram, this aligns to everything. Irrelevant ads, pitch slaps, recycled posts. I mean, it's amazing. You see AI recycled posts about how to use AI to recycle a post that AI did that copied something Justin Welsh did. Is the point that we're at now. I mean, there's a legacy virus that's happening, and everything's degrading. So yeah, I brought Estelle up from TikTok to test the waters. I'm like, okay, what do people want? Like, do they really want to engage with all this stuff? There's so many snake oil dealers. There's so many people that are telling you how to get a job, what great resume tools are out there, and there's no social proof. There's nobody, I take that back. You and I both know some wonderful people that are doing it. The fairy job mother, for one. But, for the most part, everybody is just propping themselves up. And everything is fibs and dishonesty and uninteresting and tiresome. Social Saturday, where we met, it went from something that was established to create genuine connections to just another overpopulated mess where people didn't follow the spirit and didn't follow the intent. They abused it and they broke it. It still happens, and I know that.
Yeah, a lot, like most of the people that who I'm either not employed with, or my work colleagues, or my clients and customers, but who my friends, came out of about a 3-month period in summer of 2022. Like, well, from when I met you, May 29th, 2022, I looked it up. And to basically then until around when the Hotness and Leisure show started, right? So that really was kind of the end of when I really was. I mean, you meet new people from time to time, but for the most part, it was like this little window, and then and then you're right, like it just kind of died. But I am still tight with tons. In fact, most of the people I invited, I knew from Social Saturday, to today's show, and I think a bunch of them are here. They're not really commenting too much.
It was a very fortunate window where a lot of us got to prime the pump of our LinkedIn experience. And there will be another thing. Now, what I will say is LinkedIn is a great platform if you take it seriously to show your expertise in your role, to show the passion about the work you do, to show your personality. I mean, I was putting up a poorly taxidermied fox in videos, and they were highly engaged. People want to talk to me. I'm as non sequitur as they come. I'm as esoteric as they come. I am wearing Kleenex boxes on my feet right now. Like, it's important for that. And here's the job advice on it. Like, all that stuff leads you. Your name tied to 6 podcast interviews, to a free course you put out, to a worthwhile ebook you did, to posts that actually help people, to comments that make sense and help people. Like, that social clout is really, that's where it's at. And there's still a lot of strength in the platform for that, so long as we can figure out a way to prune the bad actors. And it's funny because you mentioned Gianna and the Cybersecurity Marketing Society. That's a very active Slack. I'm in like 6 dozen different Slack. I'm tired of that part of it, and this is not a bash on. Number one, Slack isn't a good use for that because it's an internal comms tool. It's not designed for communities. But the other problem is most of the community tools out there are either way too complicated to use, or they have feature bloat, or they're just not good. So it's like you just find the best evil: Discord, Telegram, Slack, whatever it's going to be. Mighty Network, it just doesn't matter. But most of them are half dead. But she's got a recipe, and she built it. You look at Mike Phillips with the gym recipe built. You look at Amy Volas with Better Together recipe built. And I think the queen of them all is Julia Nimchinsky with
Mm.
Hype Cycle and now Hard Skill Exchange.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that, but again, we're at a point where we're talking hundreds in some cases and thousands of others in other cases. We're not talking 100,000 users, a million users. So it's very interesting to start to think about when does the corruption start happening? When do you start putting too much in the bag and it starts to tear?
Yeah, man,
But
you're
I
bringing
also
up
like
a lot of
stability.
yeah, you're bringing up a lot of interesting things because I'm thinking about like what you're saying and some of these communities, right, where they can get too big, where they're just unwieldy, right?
Hmm?
They're like they themselves get to be out of control, right? And I went out and educated, got myself a product marketing certification, did some training and whatnot, and joined the product marketing alliance, and they've got a community, and it's like 30,000 people. And no disrespect to their educational system, but I had no interest in being a part of that community, right? I didn't. It just there wasn't the right kind of activity. There wasn't other people like me there. I couldn't find them. If they weren't active. It was kind of it wasn't a good fit. And so there is a point, like even within these sub communities, like they can get to be too big. And so if LinkedIn is kind of that, where it's like this massive public open community platform, if you will, kind of is, right? And you have people who are doing certain things within it, right? I can't say enough about how many pitch slaps I get. Like, it's ridiculous. And the rub is on the pitch slap, I think, is that even when I reply, and I like to reply,
Hmm?
right? I like to say like, hey, yeah, that looks cool. Tell me more. You know how many times they actually engage back? Like maybe like 1 out of 50. So I don't even know what is up. And I do think that LinkedIn has kind of lost sight of itself, and that it might, maybe it is too big. So where do we go from here? What are we going to do? How do we continue to connect digitally? Because that's
Well,
not changing.
same way you do in real life.
Okay.
You don't connect with people by standing in the middle of standing on a street corner and yelling and randomly introducing yourself. You do it by doing what you enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
being good at it. You talk. We talk about LinkedIn, we talk about TikTok, we talk about all these things. In the auto industry, there was a line that I had. Excuse me, I've also got some sort of congestion. Yay, pollen. Um, and it's a common phrase there. There's an ass for every seat.
Okay.
The BMW Z4, it's this little convertible, and it had come out, and for some reason they were shipping every dealer this goddamn urban green, urban jungle green, and we're talking like one of the worst melted GI Joe stepped on the sidewalk greens you could ever have, and it
Kind
was
of like
like,
my background here.
oh, it was no, it was darker than that.
Okay. Okay.
It was real flat. Now everybody likes to buy their cars painted in primer with a gloss coat on top of it, but back then, nobody liked that,
Right.
and it felt like a prank. But it never sat on the lot forever. It was maybe 180 days, which is twice as long as, the tolerable level of having a car on the lot. But it would go. There's an ass for every seat. Getting back into the car stuff and getting back into where do you find people?
Mm-hmm.
My foray into online communication like this was with Bimmer forums, BIMMERFORUMS.com, which is just a big BMW bulletin board system.
Mm. Mhm, mhm,
Let's
mhm,
skip AOL chat and all that other stuff and ASL and yeah. But that was a place where I helped people. I showed my expertise. I stayed active in conversations. I stayed up to date on what was going on in the industry, and I had no issue meeting new people, and I had no issue finding jobs
hmm,
because my name was ahead of me on
mhm,
everything. And so, like in real life, yes, you meet new friends at your favorite bar because it's where you hang out and it's where you socialize and it's where you do your thing. You meet people at the gym. You meet people at your pottery class. You meet people in your regular school class. You meet people when you're doing you. And I think that's one of the biggest things I hate. And I talked about this: the AI recycling AI. When you set someone else as your false idol, you're never going to attain it. You don't know them. You
Mm,
don't. You
mhm,
don't. You know whatever little checkbox you think is sexy about them. But
mhm,
you don't know a damn thing about that person. Whereas if you establish yourself as your exemplar and you chase it, but you do the parts you enjoy, now that's the neatest thing is you can cherry pick. And you can be the best you in the things you enjoy. And if you align them to what you want, don't ever turn your hobby into a job. But if you align them to what you want to do, you're gonna get there. You're
You
gonna
know
meet people. You're gonna be interesting. You're gonna find the like I'm doing my dream role, and I
mhm,
don't want to screw it up. But it
mhm,
took a lot of experimentation, and it took a lot
mhm,
of like proving that I could do it. There is impatience these days, and I get it.
mhm.
Go ahead, bud.
Well, I was just thinking about as you're talking, there's a few examples, right, of people. I mean, even if we don't love LinkedIn because of all sort of that, the mediocrity that seems to be bubbling up or has sort of taken over. There are some people who are really exceptional, right?
Mhm,
Like I love like what Liam Maroney is doing or has done, particularly in the last several months. And he's a marketer. He went out. He's got his own, little agency now, and he's decided or whatever he's come to writing this really long form for LinkedIn content, right? Like he'll and it's like every day, like sometimes twice a day, and if he's not hitting 3,000 characters, he's really close. So he's maxing out what he can say, and it's thoughtful. I don't always agree, but nonetheless, it's fine. He doesn't get offended, and he responds and he engages, and so he's pulling off what is good for him, right? It doesn't feel contrived. It doesn't feel like and guess what? He's actually getting people to come to his stuff. And like Tim Davidson, right? He did the fruit cutting guy. He's a fruit cutting video marketer guy. Okay, he's been doing that for 3 years or 2.5 years or something, and it's irreverent and fun, and he keeps after it, and it's done really well for him.
mhm.
Mason Cosby, right? ABM, Scrappy ABM, right? Did that. Put up a podcast, ABM. So I think about myself, right? I think about like what I like, and what kind of got me going, and that was the Hotness and Leisure show back in the fall or late summer of 22, and having done and sort of invested in this kind of a format. That's what I like. And I took a break for 7 months. And now I'm finally doing it again with this countdown show, which will, has a natural kind of, end once RSAC comes. But I'm excited about it. This is something that I like to do. Right.
Yeah.
And I think I can continue to do better. I can be a better host. I can prepare people better. I can send updated StreamYard links sooner.
Mhm.
I can test virtual backgrounds and get that to work and do better, branding stuff, and all that stuff will come. But at the end of the day, it's what I really, really enjoy, right? I just enjoy that the spontaneity of it. I enjoy the rawness of it, the chance that we're going to mess up. There's going to be a glitch. There's going to be some sort of some sort of unusual experience, and like your kid popping in there. I love that. Like she's just there helping you,
Yep.
being an assistant. And so I'm inspired by what you have to say, frankly. So in terms of your, like, if LinkedIn isn't the greatest platform for you, where do you think you're going to
You know,
be headed?
I'm flip flopping on that. You bring up what you do, and I'm envious. So my first the social impact podcast I have, Hey Good Chat. I've got a
Mhm.
half dozen episodes, maybe 10 episodes done. We're talking like produced, edited, ready to go out the door, and have not shipped.
Hmm.
Pitch Slap, I have a full season, 26 interviews.
Wow.
First guy was Aaron Hassan. I interviewed him 1 week from today last year.
Okay. And you
The
haven't
show
shipped it.
needs to go up.
Yeah.
Needs to go up.
Yeah. I mean, pitch labs are worse than ever.
Yeah. So I mean, this is like I'm envious of your ability to execute on and live with failures and highs and everything else in that scenario. Do I want to be you when I grow up? No, and there's no offense made
No,
with that. but this, I'm not making you my idol. I'm just saying,
No.
wow, Trevor's pulling off something that I wish I could do. What can I do?
Well,
So the
I
same
think
thing.
the
Go ahead.
important caveat is that it's okay if nobody shows up, right? Like that's a thing for me. Like that's what it doesn't. That's what looks. I'm good with that. So anyway, sorry I interrupted you. Keep going.
No, but I mean, so even here with good curation, and there have been platforms out there. There are platforms out there that do it right now. Aware by Alex Boyd is my go-to. If anybody's like LinkedIn sucks and blah blah blah, I'll be like, it does, but here's a way of diluting the pollution. The only solution to pollution is dilution. Ask any Army Corps of engineer.
Yeah.
They actually teach that. Anyway, I love that tool for it. So curation is big. I still have highs here. PLG, the what we would call the subject matter experts, the leaders in the PLG space around here. Leah Theron, Ben Williams, Ellen Averna. There's dozens of them. It's unique content. It's valuable content. It's useful content. There's humor involved. Ben Williams went completely off the rails with legitimate social impact posting instead of the work stuff, and flagged it as such. Like there are people that put out quality things that can be mentors and coaches and teachers in the space, and then there's this double click of, and I name those names because for me it was like, we're talking people that have 60,000 connections, 60,000 followers, 100,000 followers. So you already know that they maxed out their connection limit.
Yeah.
And at some point you get converted to a first, whether you send something just Hail Mary, or in some of my cases, I got the request or a response in an email, and I'm a first degree connection with these people. Like, that's validating as hell, man. It's really cool. And then you think about it, you're like, oh, they booted somebody from their connection roster, but we all need to do that. So that doesn't matter. But yeah, so there is value in the platform. Again, if you and you saw my New Year's video, I call in my 5 predictions for GTM for this year was GTM Magazine, that article I did. Last year was the year of community. We all started discovering and building community and getting back to real life and getting back to understanding what remote really is. But this year, I think, is the year of you do you.
Okay. Well,
and
look at that.
I think reflecting on community and reflecting on, I mean, we had 1 or 2 years where we were locked inside, and the only person we got to deal with was ourselves.
Yeah.
And if you didn't figure yourself out, then do it over. Don't do the whole pandemic over again, but lock yourself away and figure out who you are.
Yeah, you do you. Yeah. Well,
and then you can operate from that. I'm loving TikTok right now. TikTok is the point of origin. TikTok is what Reddit used to be. You'd be on Reddit as a regular user, which it's gone its own little way. I think when they got bought and then they started selling in product currency, it just did its own little thing. But it used to be you were on Reddit, and then you'd see something on Facebook, and it was like, I saw that on Reddit 6 weeks ago. It's the whole Simpsons did it feeling. Well, now it's the same thing here, Facebook, and especially Instagram. Everything on Instagram is just somebody downloaded a TikTok video and did a duet and posted it back up. I'm loving it. And there are really quality people there. There's a guy, Jefferson. It's like Franklin Jefferson. He's got one of those weird president last name, full name things. But he's an attorney that teaches you how to talk to people, how to de-escalate conflict, how to talk to people with certain mental conditions, whether it's like dissociative personality disorder or ADHD or anything like that.
Yeah.
But just like simple life skills. Nobody teaches life skills on LinkedIn. Everybody wants to start like
there's some. Sam Sierra, she's in that.
Okay. Find me a percentage that doesn't have a decimal leading and on any things that I'm flagging, and then we'll do the interrupts on it.
Okay. But
there's no, there's a guy that he's got something. He goes, things that your father should have taught you but didn't. And I'm like, I'm 41 and I'm learning things, and scary. I'm learning things about like cars and cooking, things that I made a living on in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So they have great
So you're taking,
GTM leaders. I
so
mean,
you're
it's
liking TikTok. Are you able to get the kind of like reciprocal like relationship building, or is it mostly just content consumption?
it's 100% content consumption.
Okay.
And I think I used to joke. I had a really good friend of mine when we were doing nightclub work and that kind of thing. It's somewhat of a usury environment. You have all these people that know you and they know your first name and they name drop you everywhere. And we developed this chart. We would just say, I have enough friends. And I think that wiring's always just kind of stuck with me. You know it better than anyone. I'm a very hard shell. I'll come off extremely aggressive with people when I first meet them. But it's a warning to everybody out here. If you want to reach out to me, feel free to. Just understand that sometimes I'm as coarse as they come. Other times I'll be Eeyore, and other times I'll be, yeah. But it's usually rabbit.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Listen, we're at time. All right. It's 1:45 my time. I made part of my belief system around being a host is a service to the audience to let them know that if we're going to shut down and they're not going to miss anything and we can move on. So we've got another show coming up in a couple of days. We'll be announcing that, and we'll be making a big hay of it. Going to see you in a couple of weeks at RSA. I cannot wait for that. So track you down. We're going to get to hang out in real life. Any parting word you want to give to our friends who are still in the audience? Looks like we still got about 10 hanging out.
Oh, that's great numbers, man. That's great. I can't even get 10 people to show up to my birthday party.
And that's in St. Louis still. Or sorry, that's wherever you are.
Wherever I am.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, no, I same parting words I always have. Always try to be nice. Never fail to be kind.
Yeah. And if you're not, then we'll just try again. All right. So I want to say thank you to David Ketchen for coming out and hanging out with us. He's my favorite Kiwi. Leanne was here with us. Chrissy popped in. Red Curry. Looks like you and Red are working together. And whoever else was in the audience.
Well, I have Redverse. Good day, sir. If you're still on. Wow, I should have looked at the comments.
Yeah. Red was in the house, and I think I saw a comment from Melissa Houston as well, but now it has gone missing. So I don't know where that went. But in any case, Peter, it's been a pleasure to hang out for a little bit. We talked a little bit about RSA, but most we talked about just whatever we felt like. And sometimes that's what's
new.
Yeah. So best to Penelope there. I see the side of her head still. So I love video bombers. That's what makes the makes it all worthwhile. I remember Lauren Sermon, her son Axel bombed us, and that was one of the best laughs I ever had live. So alas, here we are.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Come to RSA, learn about BAS, see how it's a great fit for any organization that has any kind of environment that could be under threat digitally, which is any environment. And look me up online, linkedin.com/in/Peter-led growth, and Peter-led growth everywhere else.
There you go. All right, Peter, you're the best. Thanks for coming out. Don't leave, and I will. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.